Welcome to a new episode of Chef Gambino's Gluten-Free Adventures. It's been a while since I've had a food adventure like the one I took today. Life has been filled with other adventures since I last recorded an episode. The biggest adventure that I started in the last, I want to say, 5-ish months since I recorded last, was fatherhood. I am now a father. It's been quite the experience. It's a really, really, really rewarding experience. I like to equate raising my daughter to drugs. Maybe even alcohol, because I have not done drugs, so let's just say alcohol. So there is an immense joy you feel holding your daughter when she is probably at any age, but I only know up until this point, when she is a baby. I was holding her in her first few weeks late at night, and I felt such joy, and by the morning I was exhausted. My body just didn't want to cooperate. Luckily I was off work. If I had to go to work after such little sleep, I would not have done well. But once I did go back to work, I still had many nights where I didn't get a ton of sleep, and it was hard, to say the least. So that's adventure 1. Adventure 2 is I got married in July to my beautiful wife, Alyssa, or Style Darling Daily, as she's known on the Instagram and the Facebook. Yes, I married her. It was fantastic, a lovely wedding. And that was a rather large adventure with some challenges. And some mini adventures along the way, like our centerpieces. I had a lot of fun making our centerpieces. Here are a few examples of those centerpieces. Pretty cool, right? So that was one adventure. And then the last adventure I'll talk of now is going back to school full time. I'm in an MBA program to get my MBA in marketing at Stony Brook University, and it's been really rewarding as well. Luckily, 3 of my classes are online and 1 is in person, so those are my 4 classes. I'm learning a lot, and the flexibility that having online classes offers made it all possible. If I had to go to class every day, I don't think my wife Alyssa would really like that. It's hard enough juggling the online classes. If I had to go in to school at the same, it would have been a bigger time drain. So those are the adventures I've been on. Today's adventure was inspired by a segment on News 12 here in New York on Long Island. The segment was about this restaurant in Rockville Centre called The Bucket List. And you imagine that it's like a restaurant that you must try before you die. And after watching the segment and seeing some of the menu items, it might as well just be called Your Last Meal, because it'll be immediately followed by a heart attack. Some of those meals were crazy and overindulgent, but I love overindulgence, so much so that I wondered if they offered gluten-free items. Before we talk about the answer of whether or not they offer gluten-free items, let me cut to the segment so you can see a little bit of what they offer and what we'll be making today in a gluten-free form.
The cornbread cupcake, and he digs out the center.
Okay.
And he stuffs it with our house-made mac and cheese.
Okay. This is all homemade, right?
This is all homemade, yeah.
Made here on premises.
Exactly. So he's going to frost it with mashed potato as you would frost a regular cupcake with frosting.
Because you always frost with
mashed potatoes, of course.
Yeah. Oh, and then gravy, of course.
Drizzle some gravy on top.
Okay.
And then last, we are going to top it with popcorn chicken.
So, doesn't that look yummy? Don't you want that? And if you're not gluten-free, unlike me, go ahead. Go to Rockville Centre if it works for you, if you're close by. Won't be doing it, and here's why. So, on Monday, after seeing this segment, I said in an email to the bucket list, "Good evening. My name is Chris Gambino, and I fell in love with your loaded cornbread muffins after they were featured on News 12 recently. Unfortunate for me, I've adopted a gluten-free lifestyle after being diagnosed with lupus last year. I don't suppose you offer the loaded corn muffin made without gluten. I hope to hear from you soon, Chris Gambino." Today, I heard from them. 11, 12, 13 words to break my heart. "Hi, Chris. Unfortunately, our cornbread cupcakes are not made without gluten. Best, Brittany."
So you get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
So, I don't know why they can't make them gluten-free. It's actually not that hard, and you'll see how today. Welcome back. Now, these corn muffins that you saw in the video are not that hard to make as long as you have the time and the burners and the attention. And while I have a baby that my wife is kindly taking care of while we have this little conversation, then you can definitely do it. So let's meet to the players in today's recipe. So to make this recipe, I started with my Live G-free cornbread mix. I swear by this mix. The corn muffins are so sweet, they are so great. So you want to start here. Next, let's talk about our Hungry Jack mashed potatoes. If you have the time to mash up your own potato, have at it. If you have like a 2.5-month-old in your home and you still have the time to do that, hit me up. Just message me, say, "Hey Chris, this is how you do it," and maybe I'll try it. Otherwise, I'll probably stick to this. Hungry Jack, it's really easy. Idahoan, also really easy. I love how this right on the front of the box, gluten-free, that's great. What else do we need? We need, for sure, macaroni and cheese. This is Stop and Shop brand, deluxe, so kind of like the Velveeta version of macaroni and cheese. So it came with the pouch of cheese, which makes it really easy because you don't need to like mix in milk and butter and then the powder. You just have the squeezy pack right there. And for $2.29, that is a really good deal for gluten-free macaroni and cheese. However, their version of the Kraft mac and cheese, like that typical box, like I just said, where you need to add the powder, the milk, and the butter, that is $1.49, which is a phenomenal deal in the gluten-free world. So check that out. Check out Stop and Shop for the gluten-free macaroni and cheese, if you need to have it, like I need to have it. And then lastly, two of the last things, we're talking about our breaded chicken that we're going to use for the recipe. And of course, I trust my 4C gluten-free breadcrumbs. You can dress these up, because these are the plain ones, to whatever you like. You know, these don't have Parmesan cheese in them like the seasoned ones do. So you can put in your salt and pepper, your garlic powder, whatever you want to really season these up. And then of course, you need the gravy on top, right? And for that, we're going to use Simply Better chicken gravy from McCormick, using McCormick spices right in the front here, gluten-free. They also make a powder that you can like stir in. Again, don't really have the time for such things, and honestly don't have the space on the oven. So, just being able to make this in the microwave is great. I did use a pot to warm it up just because I don't want to microwave it. So using these key ingredients, we are going to make today's recipe. When we come back, we're going to assemble it right here. Stay tuned. Okay, so instead of using the muffins, we're going to make loaves. This is actually much easier. Instead of making so many mini muffins or regular size muffins, I was able to make 4 loaves out of the same box. So if you have mini loaf pans like this, I suggest using them. Otherwise, use corn muffin, regular size muffins. You could probably also buy these store made and then start from there. But I have 3 boxes of the gluten-free cornbread, so that's why I did this. So let's just start by cutting in. That right down here. I'm actually just going to press on the sides to kind of build little muffin walls for what's going to happen next. And I don't want to go all the way down to the bottom. Next, we're going to add in our mac and cheese. Our gluten-free mac and cheese, of course. Next, we have to pipe over the mac and cheese with some mashed potatoes. To do this, I'm actually going to slide this to the side. I could just spoon it out, but I'm going to try this, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I've done this before. It's actually pretty easy. What I'm going to do is cut a little piece of cellophane or plastic wrap, actually. Cut it in half. Okay. I'm going to lay one piece of cellophane down, or like I said, plastic wrap. And then I'm going to lay another with a little hole cut in it. So the second one I'm putting down has a hole right in the middle. I'm going to take a spoonful of the mashed potatoes, place it right there. And then pick up the cellophane or the plastic wrap again from all 4 corners, which didn't really work. You can kind of see there. I'm just going to put that there and squeeze it out the hole I made. This works really well with frosting, but of course you can see that it's working just as well with mashed potatoes. Of course, it's coming out the top as well. Bam. Next, we're going to top it off with a piece of homemade fried chicken, of course gluten-free. Now they use popcorn chicken at the restaurant, but we do things, different here. And we'll use a nice big piece of chicken, like I said, homemade and gluten-free. And last but not least, the gravy. Wow. See, it's actually not that hard to put together, and I can't understand, I guess I could understand why a place like the Bucket List wouldn't offer such an awesome gluten-free item. But now you know how to make it at home in case you get the hunger for it that I had. So let's give it a try. That's really good. Wow, that was great. That was a really delicious treat. One that, you know, if you're trying to do gluten-free, you absolutely can. There's nothing stopping you. So give that a shot. If you are not gluten-free, and you can, go to the Bucket List. They were nice enough to respond to my email. And I'll make sure to tag them in this video. And hopefully they respond kindly. So have a great day. Have a great Thanksgiving. My sympathies to you if you're going to find it difficult to have a gluten-free Thanksgiving. Though I don't imagine me getting this up tonight, so if this is posted after Thanksgiving, which is most likely the case, I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you're able to stay gluten-free. And not only were you able to stay gluten-free, but you had great options. You know, I can tell you that obviously Cornbread and Aldi has stuffing as well that is gluten-free. And it's great, you know, it's a really reasonable price. So, again, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy this holiday season. And that's it for us here. And thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Chef Gambino's Gluten-Free Adventures.